The following is an Outdoor Channel original production.
This week on Wardens, conservation officers in Michigan's District 9 check on deer hunters during the state's hectic firearm deer season.
That took a little too far.
A little too far.
Yeah.
200 acres too far.
You got your licenses on you or no?
It's in the truck. Back at the house.
For him.
You gotta have your hunt licenses on you know that?
And to look at a Warden's videographer participating in a unique weekend that focuses on giving women more skills and confidence to enjoy the outdoors. Wild animals and wild places, they're more than a picture. They're inspiration, excitement, and adventure. Patrolling and protecting these natural resources is a first-class band of peace officers. These are the Wardens, dedicated to the preservation of our great outdoors. Michigan's firearm deer season is usually the time period that brings the most hunters into the woods. The state's conservation officers look forward to this flurry of activity and strive to do their duty to protect the natural resources of the Great Lakes state. In Michigan's District 9, Conservation Officer Joe Deppen has encountered a hunter with her dad who says she just shot a deer.
I lost sight of him.
Okay.
So he was like 50, 60 yards. He ran onto the neighbor's property and he laid down and he was sideways and just picking his head up, blood coming out of his mouth,
Yeah.
like dropping, picking it up, dropping, and then he stood up and got 2 feet and didn't think I couldn't see him when he back down.
Okay.
So I feel really confident, but he's so big. I feel like we need to give him some time.
Okay. Okay, perfect. All right. Well, yeah, you can put those with you so when we go over there and find them, you can do your tag.
When we find him, I like your attitude.
Yeah, that's all right. Good. Thank you. I got a call this morning from a family that I know who hunts up in Lennox Township. They said they had shot a deer this morning. It's a pretty nice deer, but they think it may have gone onto the neighbor's property. So they did the right thing. They went over, they talked to the neighbor, got permission to go track the deer onto the adjacent piece. We met them out there. We ended up following them out there, tracked the deer to the adjacent property, and the family, was Alyssa and her dad, ended up finding a really nice 12-point deer.
Couldn't have asked for a better morning hunting with my dad. This is the first piece of property that I've ever owned, and as soon as I saw it, I knew it had potential for a big deer. We were getting small, young bucks on camera up until about 3 weeks ago, and this bruiser showed up, and I about fell out of my chair when it showed up on my phone on the cell cam app. And I was like, Dad, you and I are gonna be fighting for this deer.
It was a great moment for her and her family. They've been working on food plots for quite a long time out of that piece, and it was a great deer to watch them take.
The neighbor was kind enough to let us retrieve him on his property. I couldn't be more grateful. This is by far the biggest deer I've ever had my hands on. And I've hunted Ohio, Kentucky, and to get him on my own property that we worked so hard on all year, and my dad got to see it, really makes me really emotional. So, wish it was with the bow.
I'll follow you guys out here, and I'll let you guys get your quad, and congrats once again. Okay, sounds good.
Later in his shift, Officer Deppen returns to his truck to respond to a call he just received.
Possibly 5 hunters trespassing on a piece of somebody else's property and hunting, so we're going to meet Officer Keel and Officer Solori over there in a few minutes.
Officer Deppen meets with CO Chris Keel to talk to the landowners who have observed people trespassing on their property.
We'll go over there and talk to them, and kind of take it from there. We'll let you guys know.
Now, do you know, did you post it right behind their property?
We did post it.
If they
and
walk onto the property, but they would have had to walk past
Absolutely,
the sign.
and
Yes.
they shoot them.
All right, so make sure next time you put the signs up, you bring out a ladder or a four-wheeler or something so you can stand up on top of it.
Get up high.
Put them way up high, and then they can't walk by them.
No, last year we were walking the property and found all those ground blinds. Multiple of them were right under trees with the sign right here.
You know how big the piece is?
What? How big the piece is? This is 10, but the 200 200 is behind them.
And they're on the 200?
Yeah.
Upon arriving at the property in question, officers Deppen and Keel begin to walk the land in search of hunters who aren't authorized to be there. They check some empty blinds and consult maps on their phones before contacting a hunter.
Yeah, the property line is another 34 yards.
Where's your hunter's orange at? I came up and I went to the bathroom, but I didn't.
But you got your gun here.
I got this right here. You got to be
Is
orange.
that orange?
Oh, I didn't know. I've been wearing.
How many years you been hunting?
You got a loaded firearm on a four-wheeler. Uncased.
How many years you been hunting?
32. I've been
And
here.
you didn't know you needed orange?
Well, I know I needed orange. I didn't know it was. Everybody wears this stuff.
No.
Which piece of property do you think you're on right now?
Mine.
Mine's not an answer. What property? What's the property name?
Okay, who else is out there?
Wife, son.
And you let them go on somebody else's property?
Well, we were hunting up close and a deer.
So yes.
See, yeah, I guess so, because they're right there. I didn't know they ain't posted. Nobody's ever bothered me for 30 years.
Okay, well, it was posted, and you guys keep ripping the signs down, is what I've been told.
Okay.
And you've had conversations with the landowner before, right? About not
Years
back
and
there?
years ago.
Okay. Did he ever give you permission to go out there, or give other people give you permission to give other people to go on this property?
No. But we've been. It's a landlocked hunk of land, and
So you just go wherever.
Do you have any other
well,
firearms on you?
I've been here, and I've
stop.
been here so long. It's all the
Stop. Do
neighbors.
you have any other firearms on you? Do you have any other firearms on you?
No, little ones. Just
You have little ones?
no. I said no little ones.
All right.
I got my gun laying around here someplace.
I've got your gun.
Michigan conservation officers Joe Deppen, Chris Keel, and Brad Solori are working on the opening day of Michigan's firearm deer season. CO Deppen started his day by helping a successful hunter drag her buck out of the woods. Now the three officers, who are all assigned to the southeast corner of the state, are working a case where they've encountered one hunter on land where he doesn't have permission to be. He's told the officers that there are more hunters on this piece of land. The officers believe that they are all trespassing.
Is it possible that anyone is tracking a deer back there at all? Not even possible.
I haven't. I've heard shots since I've been up here, but I don't know. I've heard them coming from all up here.
Come on, people or deer?
Shooting. I don't know if anybody's out. I heard shooting. I don't know if anybody got anything. I've been trying to call, but there ain't no good reception out here.
All right, well, we don't need to call anymore. They're going to go figure out what they're doing back there. I see a quad and I see rope. I mean, that gives all
I
indications.
brought that out this morning. I dropped it there just in case.
Generally, when people take out a quad and a rope, there's a deer down somewhere.
Well, I just went up and got it with the bathroom, got on the quad to ride back.
Okay.
And I've been standing here to give somebody a ride or whatever. I'm just sitting here waiting.
Sitting here waiting. The original reason we're here is for trespassing onto this back piece, okay?
Well,
and you obviously know your property lines, because when I walked up to you, you said, hey, I'm on my property right here. So I know you know the property lines, whether those signs that were here earlier were taken down or not. You know where your property line's at, and you're allowing your friends to go onto that piece of property that's not yours.
It's been going on for 30 years.
Doesn't make it right.
Everybody's been coming out here. I know. I'm sorry. It's just been common practice for 30 years.
To trespass?
Nobody's ever said a word.
Okay, well, they're saying words now.
CO Deppen stays with the first hunter they contacted, while officers Keel and Solori walk the property and look for the other hunters.
Clear on that. We'll stand by. So our partners found one of the guys back there. They're going to speak with the other people in the other blinds real quick. All right. He's bringing up his four-wheeler quad and rope, and he's saying he doesn't know if there's a deer down, so.
He's definitely shot one, but he can't find it so far.
I don't know where they hunt at in the back, but I know my dad, him, and my brother-in-law were hunting in the back this morning. But
Where's the back? What are you talking about?
Like further in the back.
Show us where that's at.
Like it's down by the gas line. I know how to get. I don't know how to get back there personally because I never.
Did they walk from right here?
Yeah,
Or did they walk from down the road?
No, we walked from
You
his
walked
house.
all in here,
Yep.
and then you guys split up.
Yep.
Okay, let's just go that way.
Yeah.
Blood there, and I think that's the way they track.
He said, I found this doe, I need help.
So I'm thinking they're a little bit west of you and north of me.
All right, clear. If I see him, I'm going to send him to you.
No, keep them there. Okay,
You want to stay put here? We'll come with you.
This is his first time ever hunting.
I understand that, but
This is his first time
there's no
hunting.
reason to lie. I was standing
Well,
right next to him when he was
got
telling him
married.
on the
Okay,
phone.
that's great. Shouldn't have brought him out here on somebody else's property though. That's the problem. You guys all got permission to be out here?
Yeah, like I said, I've been hunting with my uncle lives right on 26.
Whoa,
and
whoa.
Jim-
Wait, where'd you get the permission from?
like I said, my uncle lived right on 26 mile. I just walked out the back of his
32 from 30.
Okay, but I entered a little too far.
A little too far.
Yeah.
200 acres too far.
Yeah, was that
over by you?
I just like I said, I've been hunting for years. It was never posted. I just never had a
Well,
problem.
it was posted many times. It's just somebody from the house rips them down every time. And he knows better. So he should have been nice and told you not to go back there. You seem like a really nice guy.
Him?
You?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh.
What are you doing out here on other people's property?
Like I said, we've been hunting this for years.
That doesn't make it right, though.
I understand.
How much you paying for lease here?
Nothing, like I said. I
Right,
just walked
right.
out the back.
Zero, right?
Yeah.
You know how much this would cost if you had to lease it?
I can imagine.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's start heading back.
All right.
We'll bring you guys back to the house.
Michigan's DNR encourages all people to get outside and take advantage of the many different things that are available in the form of outdoor recreation all over the state. Women are one group that they would especially like to see enjoying the outdoors more. The DNR offers 3-day classes that they call Becoming an Outdoors Woman, or BOW.
Women are looking for more opportunities. They're looking for more opportunities in a comfort, an area where they're comfortable, where they're capable of stepping outside of their comfort zone for sure, and passionate people.
It's really just about growing and doing something new and learning something new, and maybe doing it later and maybe not, and that's okay if you don't. We had one lady today that didn't want to shoot. She shot one gun and she said, I'm done, I don't want to shoot. And I said, just do me a favor and shoot this other gun. Shoot the semi-automatic and see if you like that. And so she ended up shooting all of the guns and she did pretty well.
Warden's videographer Kristen Ojanimi is taking part in this particular BOW class, as well as videoing it.
Coming into this assignment, I really didn't have any preconceived idea about it. I was able to pick the classes that I wanted to take, so I chose self-confidence because the conservation officers taught that.
You might still be pretty shy inside, but you don't want that person to see that. You want that person to see that assertive personality. And you can do that, even though that's not really you inside, you can still do that. You can still project that.
Don't be bashful. If you're mad about something, that's your target. And if you hit one of us, it's okay. It's okay. But don't intentionally do it, please.
And I'm gonna do like this and try to push you. Now splay your fingers. See, it's a little bit hard.
It's important because we're seeing more women to get in the outdoors, and I think for them to be comfortable doing that, they need sometimes may need some more, confidence or just some things to think about while they're out in the woods. Like anybody, you never want to put yourself in a bad situation. So this class does as a good idea, and not really making you a martial artist or a professional fighter, but it gives you some of the skills to know what to do, and you need to fight to get out of it.
Then I took wilderness survival today, also a really good class I think for me to learn because I'm very interested in backcountry camping. I did that for the first time last year, and I have always relied on other people to start a fire, so I learned some really good fire starting techniques, which was great.
For a fire to burn successfully, it needs 3 things. It needs heat, it needs fuel, and it needs oxygen.
Building a fire when you're in an emergency situation, you want to have something that's going to be easy to use, that you know how to use, and ideally something like this because it's going to burn for a long time and it'll give you a chance to get the fire going. Just going to practice a couple times, and then once you feel like you've got the hang of it, you start throwing sparks towards your cotton ball, and eventually, I promise, eventually it catches.
Wow. What did that take, like 6 times?
Yeah, sometimes it'll be the first, sometimes it'll be the 20th. One of our participants we had probably 10 years ago who came back and told us that Thanks to us, she was rescued by the Coast Guard. And that was because at the beginning of class, we teach how to leave your itinerary with someone, and she had done that. That's the best compliment we can get.
And we built like a little primitive shelter to be able to get out of the elements, and I've never done that before, and I found that really interesting.
We're looking for a really long, somewhat straight log or, yeah. Does anyone see something like that? Anybody? Anybody? Nobody? Oh, good, okay. So what we want to do is we want to take this pole and we want to find maybe like a, you know, crook in a tree, crotch people call it. Oh, right there. How interesting. Put it through. There you go. And try to bring it down if you can into the base. There you go. So the next thing we want to do is find some long sticks. The longer they are, the higher up on the pole they go, and the shorter they are, you're going to put them like down here.
So we put all the vertical pieces in. Now we're going to start weaving some in horizontally. So now we're going to create like a
These will be
web,
small ones, and they can even be like
a web pattern.
Now we're going to grab things from the ground, like piles of leaves. You're going to get your hands dirty, and that's okay. But there's all kinds of dead leaves. Just grab handfuls of them. Grab the dead ferns. Okay. See if you can find some dead pine boughs. Anything you can find on the ground. So now that we have our insulation up, what we need is some more sticks. Yep, we're gonna grab sticks like this and just start leaning it up against everything again. Because if it gets a little windy, we don't want all of our insulation to blow away. Okay. So I'm gonna call this a pretty darn good shelter.
My female friends and family and stuff, we do have, you know, quite a bit of outdoor experience and get outdoors, but there's a lot we don't know. And I think a lot of us also rely on our spouses or boyfriends to kind of help and to do things and, you know, keep us safe. And I think this would definitely, if, you know, I could get them to, you know, go out backpacking with me, like, or something like that, this would also help them to, you know, give a little bit more confidence in being able to do it themselves instead of, you know, having to rely on somebody else to be there and to help them.
Michigan Conservation Officers Joe Deppen, Chris Keel, and Brad Solori are working on the opening day of the state's firearm deer season. They've made contact with 5 hunters who were trespassing on a piece of property that is adjacent to a piece owned by one of them.
Your only mistake was you didn't confirm that you had permission. And why would you when you trust your friend, right? Well, I'm not happy. You've been told multiple times by the property owner to stay off. Multiple times. And then he put signs up and then you come out here and rip them down.
Hey, what was the first thing you said when we came up? Hey, I'm on my property right here. You know where the property line is.
Yeah, he knows. He knows.
Yeah.
Been here 32 years.
Yeah. Which makes it more, proves my case better that you know better. Absolutely.
You got your licenses on you or no?
It's in the truck. Back at the house.
For him.
You gotta have your hunt licenses on you, you know that?
Sorry, sir.
So, sorry, it's not gonna fix the problem. I mean, what are you gonna do if you shoot a deer? You gotta tag it. You can't run all the way back there.
I did shoot a deer. One of them have it.
Where's your tags? In the truck.
Let's go. We'll get moving here so we can get on about our day, and so can you guys.
The officers are now working to sort out what they've observed and who should be issued citations.
We got 2 no orange, and then 1 no license on person.
Loaded
firearm on ORV. No hunter's orange on him, and then
yeah.
All right, if you guys want to take those 2.
In this case, for not wearing hunter orange while hunting, this man pled guilty and paid a court-ordered fine of $115.
I'm not taking your firearm. It's back. Don't load it. I'm gonna give you your shells back. Once we clear the scene, then you can load. You guys finish out the rest of the day. If you're gonna hunt the rest of the day, hunt on your own property, okay?
Alrighty.
And put on some orange. Fair enough?
Yes, it is.
All right.
Thank you.
You're all set.
In this case, for having a loaded and uncased firearm on his off-road vehicle, the first hunter the officers contacted pled guilty and paid a court-ordered fine of $250. For not wearing hunter's orange, he also pled guilty and paid an additional $115.
So here's the deal. You're going to get a citation for not having a license. possession when you're hunting, you have to have it with you in the field.
Yep.
So just like the scenario that you had today, you shot a deer, you started tracking it, you had no tags on it. So if you found it, what's the first thing you're supposed to do?
Tag it.
Tag it, correct. So you didn't have your tags with you.
Yeah.
And if you found a deer, you'll tag it immediately.
I forgot it. It was my fault.
I got you.
That's a big deal. I'm sorry.
You're gonna get a citation for that. I'll explain it to you in a minute, okay?
In this case, for hunting without a license in his possession, this hunter paid a court-ordered fine of $110.
Up to you. Leave the bolt open.
Just make sure you put it on safe.
Is that?
That's fine.
Good. Beside, so you didn't get any citations today, neither did she. The signs aren't up for the ruck trespass, otherwise you guys would have all been getting citations for ruck trespass. I know you said you trusted him, but he said he's been doing this for 30 years, doesn't make it right. Nope. Yeah, point that in the safe direction. So, like I said, just learn from this. You had your orange on, so I'll give you that. I appreciate you wearing that, but if you're gonna hunt a piece of property, either make sure you know who the landowner is, or you find someone who's not gonna have you go trespass on somebody else's property, okay? Do you have any questions?
Nope.
All right, you're all set?
Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Yep.
Sorry.
The following is an Outdoor Channel original production.
This week on Wardens, conservation officers in District 7 and 8 check on deer hunters and waterfowl hunters in October on the opening day for each season.
The camera's there, the bait's there, the tree stand's here.
Also, a look at a rehab facility that works very closely with the state's DNR to help rehabilitate injured wildlife. Wild animals and wild places, they're more than a picture. They're inspiration, excitement, and adventure. Patrolling and protecting these natural resources is a first-class band of peace officers. These are the Wardens, dedicated to the preservation of our great outdoors. The state of Michigan offers a wide array of outdoor recreational activities year-round. Whether it's hunting, angling, snowmobiling, riding off-road vehicles, or a myriad of other options, there's always something available outside for people to enjoy. With so much to do, the state's conservation officers are typically always busy and always have something to monitor to protect the resources of the Great Lakes State. In District 7, CO Jeremy Beavers is on patrol on the opening day for hunting whitetail deer with archery equipment. While driving his patrol truck, he notices two men walking alongside the road. They're pulling a deer cart that's empty. They appear to be heading towards the woods.
Do you know where the deer's at right now?
Oh, no.
Well, not exactly, but I know where I shot it at.
All right, let's take a walk.
All right.
Nice job.
I told you. Be patient. If you've seen that yearling, a big one had to be around.
Thank you, sir.
All right, we're gonna make the long trek back.
Good seeing you on these terms.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Prior to his encounter with a successful doe hunter, Officer Beavers set out to check some spots on public land where he noticed bait.
This block, I checked it a week and a half ago, and there was remnants of a third block, and there was a bunch of corn as well. So it is actively baited. Just doesn't look like our hunter's here right now.
No one is hunting in the first spot he checks. When he parks his patrol truck to check the next stand, CO Beavers spots a truck parked in the same lot. The walk from the patrol truck to the second stand takes almost 10 minutes.
How you doing? Conservation officer. Good, how are you? Why don't you come on down for me? Careful. You just get here?
Yeah, not too long ago.
Okay. It's not strapped in very tight there. Were you taking it
I
down?
was trying to fix it.
Okay.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good.
So, what's going on?
No, just trying to fix it.
What's going on right there?
I have no idea.
You didn't put that there?
No.
Okay. This your tree stand?
It's my buddy's.
Who's your buddy? What time did you get in today?
A little after light.
All right. So your buddy, he knows you're using his tree stand, he doesn't mind?
Yeah, he doesn't care.
All right. He didn't tell you the stand was baited?
No, I had no idea. I came out here when it was almost dark, so.
How good of buddies are you guys?
Just friends.
Okay. Came out here just before dark, got a little loose, and you decided to fix it, or?
Yeah, it was a little loose up there. I didn't want to fall.
Okay.
I had a couple surgeries, so.
At what point did you notice the bait there?
I didn't notice it until you guys said something, because like I said, I've been up there for a little bit and it was loose, so I came down, brought my stuff down, and.
Okay. That's your buddy's trail cam over there?
Yep.
We're gonna see you on pictures before today?
I don't know.
Yes or no?
I don't, you might see me on there, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I'm up there,
Right.
so,
The camera's there,
Yep.
the bait's there, the tree stand's here.
yep,
I'm gonna see your pictures on that camera before today.
okay.
So you should have known the bait was there. If you didn't place it, you should have known.
Right.
Right?
Right,
Did you place the bait?
yes,
This is your tree stand.
yep.
Year-round, and particularly in the fall, different dates on the calendar mean the opening and closing of various seasons in Michigan. Approximately 2 weeks after the archery opener for whitetail deer hunting statewide, the waterfowl season opens in the state's South Zone. In District 8, Conservation Officer Mark Mankowski is checking hunters who are targeting ducks and geese.
We bring the good luck. So there's one guy on this edge, just like probably 100 yards around the corner. And then there's decoys on that side, but I can't see where they're at. So basically there's like a little peninsula that comes out and connects the two ponds, or it goes right in between them. Yeah. So we can just hide, or we'll just go up that way and go check that guy. He's just standing up in the woods. So. How have you done so far this morning?
Them guys over there, sky busting everything.
Yeah, I heard a bunch of shots right at first light. Are they the ones shooting at first light?
Yeah,
right
I was out here, but nothing flies my way.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't go down far enough.
Okay.
And stamps in there as well.
Okay. Cool. Do you have any birds with you?
Nope. I haven't been able to shoot nothing.
Gotcha. You got a piece of grass in there too.
Yeah, I saw that.
Cool. That's good there. Sweet. And then I'll just take a look at some of the shells you got on your person, and then you have your stuff over there too.
Yeah, my bag's over there.
Yeah, we can walk over that way.
No problem. My fours and my twos.
Okay, cool.
My nice little 6 decoys are just kind of chilling there.
Yeah, floating around a little bit. Yeah. Hey man, at least you're out here though.
Yeah.
So that's half battle. So yeah, feel free. Go ahead and keep hunting, man.
All right.
And good luck the rest of the season.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Let's keep pointing in a good direction for me.
It's all right.
Yep. You guys good? How you guys been doing so far?
Oh, a lot of missing.
It gets expensive. Yeah. Cool. You guys got any birds?
We got one female wood duck right here.
Okay. Nice. Okay, cool. Just want to double check that. Good. All right, cool. And then we'll go ahead with you.
Can't fit.
Perfect.
Anymore.
That sounds good. And then you guys are also, just heads up too, you're like really flirting with like the railroad stuff. So like as long as like within the railroad grade, it's actually trespassing. It's like a railroad trespass. So all the rocks and everything and going up, like you can't be on,
So
can't
we're,
do
like,
anything.
literally
You're flirting on it for sure.
touching it.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
No. So, I mean, you're not setting up your blind and everything on there, but just give you a heads up.
Earlier in his shift, C.O. Mankowski navigated through thick brush and some wet spots.
It's about to get muddy.
To reach a group of friends hunting birds. He spotted them from a distance a short time before he made contact with them.
Conservation officer, how you guys doing? Good. You just want to make sure the gun's pointing in a safe direction? Perfect. If you guys are all legal, we're going to keep shooting. Okay. Sweet.
I got work at 2 and I've been up since 4:30, so it's going to be a rough day for me.
For sure. Where do you work at?
I just work at Walmart
Right on. I thought we were going to be high and dry, and then you guys were just like 20 yards further than what I wanted you to be. Can I take a look at your shells, too?
Yeah.
You guys got all steel shot?
Yeah, all steel shot.
Cool. So we're going to check them. So just the goal is, hey, if you've got something you're not supposed to, give us a heads up.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's starting to get shady, and then it gets stupid. These some of your other ones?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What do you hunt with these ones?
I will if my white ones are out, but I think a box of the white ones.
Okay. These aren't coming up.
They're not?
No. Nitro mags. 6-shot.
That's 6-shot?
Yeah.
Oh. I don't shoot 6-shot.
That's it.
All of ours are 2.
I got 2 and 3-shot. That's what I've been shooting.
Yeah.
The white ones.
So those aren't steel?
No. So there's a 3-shot.
Well, I just grabbed the box. I didn't think it would be mixed.
Yeah.
Because the other box that I had, they weren't my shells.
That one is.
I think, yeah, because I
so
have...
half the green ones are, half the green ones aren't.
There's a mix of greens that I had with them reds.
How long have you been duck hunting for?
2. This is my second year.
Okay.
So I've pretty much...
This would be my 3rd.
Yeah.
So
I started...
You started 1 year after us. You started coming up with us for the North Open.
Well, where are you guys from?
Grand Ledge.
Okay. All right. All the other ones look good. This is one of like the bigger issues with us, 4 or 5 kind of priority violations, baiting, steel shot or non-toxic shot, non-steel shot, things like that. So unfortunately, like this is like a, like if it was something else, like no name on a, on your duck stamp, that's something we can possibly work with, things like that, as long as you guys are cool, which you guys have been. But the non-toxic shot or the toxic shot, that's the stuff that's a big no-no for us. So that's a violation. So our truck's back there. You guys are good to go hunt. If you don't mind coming with me, these are your shot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Michigan Conservation Officer Mark Mankowski is assigned to patrol Eaton County in southern central Michigan. One organization in his county that C.O. Mankowski interacts with often is Wildside Rehabilitation and Education Center. Wildside has been rehabbing animals for almost 30 years.
I always knew, probably since I was 5 years old, I was going to be a teacher, and the men were always the veterinarians. So I never thought, oh, I could be a veterinarian. That probably was my other calling, but wildlife rehab became kind of my passion also. So I started about 34 years ago at another rehab center in Grand Ledge. It was called Critter Alley. I started with my sister. She's like, hey, let's do this together. About 3 months in, she's like, I can't take it anymore. It's dirty, it's nasty. And I'm like, I love this. This is my thing.
This is an eastern screech owl. She came in last night. Not in too bad a shape. We think she might have either got hit by a car or like a window strike. She has some, a little bit of bruising on her nares there. So she's just kind of hanging out. We want to see if she'll eat on her own today, tonight. So one came from Greenville and one came from Roscommon. We're actually getting a third tomorrow from Roscommon. They came as kittens and they will be released in the spring as adults. We do not handle, do not interact. We feed them and make sure they have enrichment. They are definitely wild animals.
There are approximately 50 licensed animal rehabilitators in the state of Michigan. They all work closely with the state's DNR.
I have had conservation officers meet me places. They are right there. They know when I say Louise from Wildside who that is, and that what we need is serious, and I wouldn't call them otherwise.
I just think that the work that Wildside does and other rehabbers around the state and around the country, a lot of it probably goes unnoticed, but they do incredible work to help out, animals that got stuck in unfortunate situations or in the process of, maybe people doing illegal things and, doing bad things to animals, and they're there to hopefully give them a second chance.
When I pick up the phone and I see anonymous, and I'm like, it's the DNR, because that's how it comes across. And we try to do everything we can to help them.
Wildlife rehabilitators are really important to the Department of Natural Resources in general. Everybody thinks if they find an injured or orphaned animal, well, we'll call the DNR, they'll come out and take care of it, or, they must come and rescue this bird. But in reality, if it weren't for wildlife rehabilitators, the department, both the law enforcement division and wildlife division, we wouldn't have anywhere to turn these people to help with these animals. So they're really good partners to us.
This is the one that's going to go to the Smithsonian Zoo at the end of the month. So they got in contact with us when we advertised that we had a non-releasable crane, and they wanted to use her in an exhibit.
Animal rehabilitators usually start out by volunteering with another rehabber or at a veterinary clinic. They need to get experience interacting with wild animals.
I could never do this on my own. No, I'm a full-time worker also. I'm a special ed teacher, and I started with only one volunteer, and obviously it has grown to 3,500 animals a year and 40 people that help us and thousands of volunteer hours.
I really love it. I did not like, my first day was working with the birds mostly. They poop a lot, and sometimes you have to get a scraper, and it's just a lot more dirty work than I was expecting. But in all honesty, I really enjoy it. Maybe a little too much. I think it's just fun to, it's very fulfilling. I just go work in the mammal room now. The possums are my favorite. Just being able to do that is very fun, but definitely the dirtiness was the most shocking.
Like many rehabilitators throughout the state, Wildside is a not-for-profit organization that relies heavily on donations as well as volunteers.
Don't hesitate to reach out for donating food or anything that they might need. Just goes a really long way, because a lot of times they're working off a lot of grants and things like that. So any help is greatly encouraged.
Getting an animal saved and actually keeping it alive feels so great. Especially with the raptors. Once they fly off, once we get that release, it's just like, yes, they're gonna be good, they're gonna be fine, we got them to this point.
Michigan Conservation Officer Mark Mankowski is patrolling on the opening day for waterfowl hunting in the state's South Zone. He's encountered a hunter who has shotgun shells that are not allowed when targeting waterfowl. CO Mankowski and the hunter with illegal shells return to their vehicles.
So here's your license back. With your age and everything, the last thing we want to do is to have this be your first time with the interaction with the DNR in the field. Cool. Last thing we want to do is to have that interaction be a ticket, citation, and everything. Understand that this is, like I mentioned, one of the priority violations for waterfowl. So we have to make sure that everything in your bag, don't just grab the bag and go. Just do a double check and everything. That little plug checker I had has a little magnet on it. If it sticks, then you know it's steel. So that's good. If it doesn't, then you know. So just make sure. These got to go with me. But we're just going to give you a warning today. Like I said, it could be a misdemeanor violation, and then you don't want that on your record, or the fines and everything that go along with it. So you're allowed to go back out and hunt and everything, but just make sure before you go hunting and all that every single time, you just do a quick check of the bag, or if you just have your new box, and then just keep everything separate and keep all your turkey and everything like that. Keep that completely separate, clay shot, and then all your duck hunting stuff in a separate bag, and that way you know always before you go in the field, all right?
Okay.
Cool, man. So let's let you off in the morning,
Thank you.
but just understand that, hey, this is one of the big ones for us.
Yep.
So.
I understand.
All right, man.
All right, have a good day.
Yeah, you too, man.
Approximately 2 weeks before the waterfowl season opened in the state's south zone, the archery season for hunting white-tailed deer started. The archery opener is frequently warm and may not be as good for deer movement as later in the season. In the state's District 7, Conservation Officer Jeremy Beavers is working on October 1st, the archery opener. He has encountered a hunter who was hunting over bait, which is a violation.
Where's your molasses at? Because, you know, you can tell me you weren't baiting before, but your jar of molasses, I think that's what you used?
Yeah.
It was out here last year as well. I have all the pictures.
CO Beavers and this hunter have a long walk back to their trucks from the hunter's tree stand.
It was roughly a half-mile back, which good for him for making the hike because he was an older gentleman. But it's something like that, you know, you got to set the time aside to go check because you know you're going to be back there a while. You know, if you would have shot a deer over that bait, could be considered an illegal deer. It's an illegal method. I mean, with the doe alone, that'll get you a couple years revoked, some heavy restitution, and then, you know, with a buck, depending on the size, it could cost thousands of dollars. I got a case going through the courts right now. It's, you know, he's looking at potentially over $10,000.
In this case, for baiting in a prohibited county, this hunter pled guilty and paid a court-ordered fine of $292.
He was instructed to remove his stand. He can no longer hunt from that location because it's baited. You know, the bait was covered up the best we could with what we had available. I mean, we had nothing to take it out. I appreciate the honesty.
Yeah, like
he tried to.
What am I doing? I might as well just tell him the truth instead of lying.
I knew
more trouble.
Yeah, I knew the truth already.
So
you know, that's why I asked those questions because I knew the answer.
It's like my wife says, lying don't get you anywhere.
Yeah. So, okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Have a good day.
Yep, you too.
I'll get it out of here.
Okay.
The following is an Outdoor Channel original production.
This week on Wardens, Michigan conservation officers in District 3 and 6 check on hunters during the peak of the firearm deer season.
83-year-old Mustang. She's not here. The first thing that she shot it and then went home, but I called Mom on the phone and she admitted that she didn't shoot it. He shot it.
Also, a turkey hunt with a person tasked with overseeing the state's DNR.
My favorite species to hunt are turkeys. I grew up in the DNR. I'm a lifer here.
She really has grown into a really good hunter.
Wild animals and wild places. They're more than a picture. They're inspiration, excitement, and adventure. Patrolling and protecting these natural resources is a first-class band of peace officers. These are the Wardens, dedicated to the preservation of our great outdoors. White-tailed deer hunting is a popular activity in the fall for both Michigan residents and visitors. The state's archery season opens on October 1st, and its firearm season opens approximately 6 weeks later. The firearm season typically has more people in the woods than any other time of the year. As a result, conservation officers are constantly in the woods during the season. They also utilize a variety of tactics to do their best to protect the state's natural resources. In the state's District 6, Officer Mike Haas is working during the first full weekend of the state's firearm deer season. He's a part of a group patrol where a DNR plane is in the air and radioing to officers on the ground when they spot suspicious activity from the sky.
For people shining, you can't shine this time of the year in November. Look for people coming out of the woods or maybe tracking deer and stuff like that. It's just a really good tool to have the plane up in the air They can help us a lot and pinpoint us to check certain areas out that we wouldn't see without the plane up in the air. So we're making our way over to Isabella County, and we're going to check the north end.
With the state's plane overlooking another county, CO Haas works from his truck, closely monitoring what he sees around him. He's paying close attention to vehicles that look like they would belong to deer hunters.
How's it going?
Good.
Nothing too crazy, you just have a headlight out, so I wanted to let you know about that. Okay.
I hit a deer on the way out hunting this morning.
Today? So you got a deer? You got a deer today?
Yeah, not
not the way you wanted to.
No,
So-
it lived. It got
Oh,
away,
oh,
but,
really? Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't very happy about that because I didn't see anything worth shooting.
Okay.
after it sat there,
Right.
but-
So no luck, no other deer this year hunting? Nothing? You don't have a rifle or anything on you? Nothing. Okay. You been out hunting?
Yeah. Goes every time.
Did you get anything? No. Not even the youth hunt? No. Okay.
No, we don't do the youth hunt.
No. Okay.
I don't believe in it.
No, a lot of people say that. So, but yeah, I never know. Some people do. So, okay. Well, at least you know that's broken. So just get that taken care of, because the deputy or something might give you a ticket for that. So,
Yeah, I
but,
saw you. I kind of
okay.
figured you.
Yeah. I'm like, he's got a headlight
It
on.
wasn't working.
Right. Yep. I'm like, he didn't signal, and his headlight was out. But okay. But good luck when you get back out. Okay, guys. We just did a quick traffic stop. There was a truck. I was at the stop sign, and a truck pulled up with a headlight burnt out and no turn signal, and he turned in front of me. So it was a reason to stop him right there. And it's a good, it's a good excuse to make contact with people this time of the year too. He had a truck, so who knows? He could have had a dead deer in the back of the truck or a loaded rifle in the back seat or something. So nothing crazy like that, though. He actually hit a deer this morning. He said on his way to go hunting. So he got a deer today, but not the way he wanted to. So you never know, though. A traffic stop could lead into something else, but that was not the case.
During the firearm deer season, Michigan's conservation officers are very busy. Approximately 130 miles north of where Officer Haas is patrolling, CO Dan Listenfelds is also checking on deer hunters in the state's District 3. Officer Listenfelds is checking some of the popular hunting spots in his county.
There's a guy sitting on the shoulder here, facing the trees. Getting prime time. The hunter's sitting on the shoulder of the road, about 15 yards from his truck. Sitting on the shoulder of the road, not even facing the roadway, so maybe he'll have something walk between him and the truck, who knows. It's prime time right now. There's no need to sit there and talk to him and check his license when it's prime time. He's just sitting on the side of the road hunting. He's in plain sight, probably obviously has a license, so I don't want to ruin his hunt just because that's where he chooses to sit. So just do a little wave, let him know that we're out and about, and let him do his thing. Right across from his truck. He just leaves his gun pointed right at us right now, right out the window.
Central 7447 service. In service.
See that? Hello, how are you? Good. Okay. Your gun here, okay, it's totally legal to hunt on the shoulder of a road. Okay, your gun can't just be standing out the window like that all the time. Okay, there's cars coming down the road. I don't like a gun pointed at me when I'm driving away from a blind, okay? Okay, you guys have your IDs on you at all? You guys from around here?
Yeah.
Right here in Atlanta or Hillman?
Hillman.
Okay.
Yeah, born and raised here.
Okay. So your guys' truck there, I assume?
Yeah.
All right.
Shannon Lott is the acting director for Michigan's Department of Natural Resources. In this role, she oversees the entirety of the state's DNR. It's a big responsibility, but one that she's been preparing for over the course of her career.
I grew up in the DNR. I'm a lifer here. I started as a seasonal like many of our folks, so 7 years as a seasonal, working on game areas, picking up garbage, doing signs, and then moved into a full-time technician job, and then moved into Lansing, our headquarters after that. Was in wildlife for 20 years, then went over to be the assistant chief in forestry for a couple years, and then ended up in the executive office when this administration, the Whitmer administration, came in and Dan Eichinger was named our director. He asked me to serve as the natural resource deputy director.
The experience that Director Lott gained through her DNR career has provided her with unique insight as she makes decisions in her current role.
So a lot of summer work really helps you understand how things work in the DNR, how we look at species populations, how we work on habitat, how statewide regulations are made. So a lot of that early work in the field helped me understand that we have our Natural Resource Commission as our regulatory setting, and then our director has certain authorities too. So that really helped to help me understand how the department works and how things in Michigan work.
Director Lott grew up hunting with her father. She has fond memories of those times, which laid a foundation for her outdoor skills and passion.
6th or 7th grade, I started going out with my dad, and it was kind of funny because back then you couldn't hunt till you were 14 with a gun in the state of Michigan. So I was sort of a tag-along, right? But I still was out hunting as far as carrying decoys on my back for waterfowl hunting. And my dad was a big pheasant hunter, so I grew up sort of in the glory days of pheasant hunting in southern Michigan and was able to go out a lot. We used to raise black lab dogs and train them for bird hunting, so I would go out a lot to do that as well. And then every bird my dad got, I cleaned.
She took to it naturally. She was just fabulous, eager to learn, and we, over time, we had some just fabulous hunts. And but she really has grown into a really good hunter. She can do it all.
My favorite species to hunt are turkeys.
Early on a Saturday morning in mid-May, Director Lott is in a ground blind targeting turkeys. She's utilizing a slate call. She's also being helped by her dad and her son, who are calling to gobblers and hens from behind her blind.
So this morning we had a setup on a field that was a planted cornfield, and we put a pop-up blind on the edge of the field, a point from out from the woods, because we had some brush in the way that we wanted to make sure we were in front of. So we got that. We had a decoy set, 3 decoys out.
I couldn't have drawn it any better. We had a good location. I've scouted these birds. We've hunted this area before. It played out as I hoped it would.
The birds came down, flew down into the field, which is perfect. The hens came first. There was a smoky gray hen, which is a type of genetic factor that we got from the Iowa population. So we had birds from Pennsylvania, Missouri, and Iowa over time that were transplanted here to Michigan. So that was really neat to see the smoky gray hen come out first this morning, and then a couple hens with her.
Me and my grandpa were sitting kind of behind the pop-up blind this morning. We were hearing the birds gobble about 80 yards in a tree to the left of us, and we thought they were going to be more in front of us further away. When they came down, they flew like right in front of us out into the field's edge. We saw that first smoky gray out in the field, and we were watching it for a while.
The birds were talkative, and they came in quick. Once the old hen made her mind up to come toward our decoy setup, then it kind of, the toms flew down and came right in.
The large tom came into the field with a couple smaller toms and a jake and started to display. And as he turned, he started to go sort of back towards the woods, so I decided I should take a shot before they came all the way over into my decoy set. We started calling right at daylight and heard at least 3 toms in the tree and a couple hens, which is always good, so that you have hens come down first and kind of bring those toms to your decoys. 3 toms in that group, and I picked the tom with the longest beard here. This is probably 11 or 12-inch beard on this bird. So he started to strut a little bit. A couple of the toms started to strut, and then he kind of turned and took a look at the woods over there, and I thought he was going to turn that way and head in there, so I took a shot from the blind, and we got him. So I use a 12-gauge National Wild Turkey Federation gun with an inscription on it, so it's a nice gun with a full choke.
The blessing that comes with hunting with your grandson and your daughter is just, it's indescribable. It's a great feeling and really makes you think that you're doing and have done a pretty good job at directing their life in this area.
I've been hunting for as long as I can remember with my mom and grandpa, and it creates memories like that'll last a lifetime. And you know, I'm just so thankful for that. And you know, you remember mornings like this, and you know, you get the job done, and it makes you feel even better about it. Makes you grow closer with one another. Makes you grow closer with nature, and there's just so many memories that can come with it. And it's just awesome to get out with your family and get away from things and just kind of set things aside and go out and be in the woods all day. There's nothing like it.
Michigan Conservation Officer Dan Listenfelds is working the first full weekend of the state's firearm deer season in mid-November. He's working some of the less populated areas of his county where he believes people are likely to be hunting. He's come across two hunters right next to the road who have a firearm sticking out the window of their blind directly towards the roadway.
Just the one rifle in there?
No, I got mine laying up in the corner.
Oh, I got you, okay. Where did she put hers at?
I set it in the corner with mine too.
Oh, I got you, okay. All right. You get your hunting license on you?
Yeah. Yeah, my dad lives right here on Funk Road.
Okay. So basically we were driving down the road, and the hunters in this blind had a rifle just pointed out the window, just pointed right in the middle of the roadway. We drive by, and they never move it, so it's pointed right at us, and obviously it's pointed at that truck that drove past too. We were talking to them, and it's just a careless, you know, handling of a firearm. I'm gonna run them here and see if they have any issues and see what we do here. Probably just end up giving her a warning. It seems like she's not a big hunter. She just has one deer tag. Usually that implies, you know, not all the time, but you know, they're not out hunting every day. They're not a hardcore hunter, so this might just be an educational thing. It was her that was in possession of the gun. Okay, here's your guys' IDs back, okay? All right. Sorry to bother you at prime time, okay? But if you're gonna be hunting on the roadway, it's different than normal, okay? I mean, you gotta be extra wary of where your gun's at, okay? I know safety's probably on and all that, but you never know. You know, don't want to shoot a car driving by, okay? So, all right, you guys are all set. Enjoy your hunt, okay?
The next day, CO Listenfelds joins a group patrol with some of his fellow conservation officers, as well as troopers from the Michigan State Police.
So we're doing a traffic detail with MSP. Basically, we're looking for illegal deer tagging violations, weapon transport violations. So our setup here, we have a trooper sitting up the road here on M33, looking for mainly trucks, vehicles with trailers, quads, anybody that looks like they might be coming from a deer camp heading south, and basically calling out speeds, and you know, anyone speeding that we want to look into, we're going to be stopping.
Sergeant Mike Mashar has pulled over a man that was speeding and has 3 deer in the bed of his truck.
83-year-old Mustang. She's not here. He at first claimed that she shot it and then went home, but I called Mom on the phone and she admitted that she didn't shoot it. He shot it.
Okay. Did he have a combo?
He has the rest of his here. He shot this one.
Okay.
But that one was the one that he shot and tagged with Mom's tag.
Okay. All right. Well, you got it pulled out then.
Yep. He's got a fire. If you want to, I'll back up a little bit. Get it pulled out.
More than 100 miles south of where Officer Listenfelds is patrolling, CO Mike Haas is also working the first weekend of the firearm deer season. The state plane that's looking for suspicious activity has noticed a truck in the area where Officer Haas is.
You still have eyes on that vehicle?
Affirmative. They're a quarter mile east of that intersection, still slow rolling. I have you.
Okay, I think I'm going to pull over here and so I can get behind them. I think that is a bad stretch of road, so they could just be avoiding potholes. Hello, sir. Where are you coming from?
Michigan Conservation Officer Mike Haas is looking for deer hunters in his county in mid-Michigan.
Were you out hunting or anything, or?
No.
Oh, okay. We just had reports of some trucks slow rolling and stuff, so this area, people shine and shoot a lot.
Oh, no,
so I was making sure that's not what you're doing.
No,
Okay.
get my daughter out.
You don't have a loaded rifle or anything crazy in the?
Nope.
Mind if I check real quick, just to believe it or not, I do get lied to sometimes. So.
No.
Okay. Just want to make sure you don't got any pile of dead deer or a loaded rifle or anything. Like. Not in trouble or anything. No, I. Perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
No, I know. I'm just doing my job, right? I get a call and a complaint that people are slow rolling, so just making sure you weren't doing anything you were not supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
So.
You got to see Santa Claus land tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, did you guys go to the reindeer farm? Or,
Yep.
Oh, cool.
Yep.
That's pretty neat. Did you see the plane he jumped out of, or did he?
Yeah, he flew right over top about 3 times.
That's pretty cool.
Then we watched them come down.
Cool. Okay. Well, just making sure nobody was up to any shenanigans, so I'm glad.
No, I
appreciate you guys are doing what you're supposed to be doing. So.
Never hunted a day in my life.
Really? You're surrounded by all these farm fields and deer everywhere?
Yeah, I grew up in Beale City.
Okay.
We've never hunted.
Okay.
We got Grandpa inside.
Okay.
Grandpa's, well, my dad was never a hunter, so we
Okay.
never hunted.
That makes sense. Yep.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
sorry for the.
No,
confusion.
you guys are fine. Sorry to bug you. Enjoy your night, okay? See ya.
Sergeant Mike Mashar has contacted a man with 3 deer in the bed of his truck. One of the deer has a tag on it, which indicates the deer was shot by the elderly mother of the man driving the truck. She is not in the vehicle with him.
So basically, a vehicle went by, there was 2 deer visible in the back. One of the deer had a tag that was visible on the antlers. The other deer, you couldn't see the tag. You could just see the legs sticking up. Stopped the vehicle. After talking to the driver, he admitted that he had killed one of the bucks a couple days ago, and that his mom, his 83-year-old mom, had killed the other buck opening day. I asked where she was. He stated that she had to go home early from camp while they lived downstate because she was sick. So asked a few more questions, and he wasn't making a whole lot of sense about when his mom got the deer or where she got it.
Take both of them kind of in the same spot?
Pardon?
Take both deer in the same spot pretty much, or?
Same blind.
Same blind? Where's that at?
What's that?
Where was that at?
Between Rogers City and Sheboygan.
Okay. That's I was wondering, but if you wanna, if you can lift up if you can lift the rear end and kind of chuck it over the side, I'll pull it away from the truck here. Oh. Okay. You want to throw it? Okay. Yep. All right. Yep. Go ahead. Drop it. All right.
When he gave me, I said, "You got any other tags?" He's like, "Yep," and he showed me this. And this has a, and I said, "What's that all about?" And he goes, "Oh, I accidentally nicked it when I was, tagging my other deer, and that told me there was something going on." He had started to notch November on his other half of his combo tag. That caught my attention as well, so I asked a few more questions, asked for mom's phone number, called 83-year-old mom up on the phone, who then admitted to me that she was up, got feeling not real well, so went home, and that her son actually shot the deer and used her tag.
In this case, for putting his mother's tag on the deer that he shot, this man paid a court-ordered fine of $350. Additionally, he also paid $2,000 in restitution to the state of Michigan for his illegal deer.
All right. That'll work.
Pretty cut and dried. He said that he wanted to save his other tag for muzzleloading season, and that's why he tagged his other buck with his mom's tag. So kind of common, but still illegal, and shouldn't have done it.